Hey, party people. It is your friendly neighborhood over-caffeinated fashion design and illustration professor Zoe Hong. Hey. Today we're going to talk about flats. We're going to talk about flats templates and how to use them. And the flats templates I have on sale in my Etsy store. Now, number one, what are flats? Flats are technical illustrations of garments. Okay. Number two, why are they called flats? They're called flats because they're supposed to be drawn as if you laid the garment out flat on a table, as flat as possible. Number three, if you are a designer or want to be a designer, it is very important. It is essential that you learn how to do flats. That's what you're going to be doing the most of in the industry is drawing flats. You must demonstrate in your portfolios that you are good at drawing flats, not only just by hand, but on Adobe Illustrator or a similar program. So flats are key. I highly recommend using templates to draw your flats. Okay. If you want to use figure templates for illustration, that's fine. If you don't want to, if you want a freehand, that's fine. I don't care. But for flats, I push the use of templates really hard so that each of the garments in your collection are consistent. If you use a consistent body, then your flats will be consistent. It's like using the same fit model for your pattern corrections over and over again. You're going to get a consistent fit across your collection. Okay? And so using templates and with exact body proportions will really help you draw better flats. And that's not me trying to sell my flats template. You can make your own template or you can buy someone else's, but just using a good template and using them consistently throughout a collection will help people really view the garment construction correctly. Because essentially what flats are for is for the garment construction. You're going to pass these off to your pattern maker. Your pattern maker has to make sense of your garment so that they can actually draft it. So in the flats package that I have several pages. Number one, I have the front, full size, and I have it formatted for 8.5 by 11, but it's also narrow enough that it should print on A4 paper just fine. I have lots of sleeve options. This straight down arm is for tailored garments, like a tailored jacket. So you have your armhole here, and you have your fitted blazer, and then you have your little shoulder, and here's your fitted sleeve, and it hangs down. That's why with jackets like this, when you raise your arm to hail a cab, the whole jacket kind of comes up. I mean, it won't swing all the way up, but it'll jerk up because it's really set and tailored into that armhole. And then this line in here, that's the seam line for a two-piece sleeve. Okay, tailored jackets should have a two-piece sleeve, and that's your seam placement. These are for more boxy styles like basic t-shirts, kimono sleeve, dolman sleeve, bat wing sleeve, big sweatshirts, just big boxy loose silhouettes. This one, I have a bent arm because sometimes when you have like something that's far out like this, it takes up a lot of real estate on your paper, on your design board. So some people like to draft on a bent sleeve so that you can open up the armhole if you have like a big shape. You know, if you have something that's shaped like this, but if you don't have a lot of design along the sleeve, you know, you can just bend it in instead of having the whole thing out. Some people I've seen do one bent, one open. Again, that also saves paper space when you're trying to get all your flats on your design board. Again, I have a couple of different leg options. You know, the straight leg for tailored trousers, and then the more open leg for sweatpants, boxier trousers, gym shorts, okay? And then in the torso, I have standard placement for style lines and darts. Of course, you don't have to use them, okay? But it helps to know where the standard placements are so that you can explore beyond that, however you like. But I have your basic shoulder princess here and your basic armhole princess here. And then on the left-hand side, I have your waist fisheye dart. This is a French dart, comes out of your side seam at an angle. Here's your bust dart, armhole dart, and your neck dart. Some people will do a center front bust dart, like that sits like that. I've also seen darts that come out of center front like this. You can have a shoulder dart, but it's pretty rare for there to be a shoulder dart in the front. It's most commonly seen in the back so that you're shaping around the shoulder blade. Whereas on, typically, you need more shaping around the breast and not so much up here. Up here is pretty flat on most bodies. Now, notice here that none of my darts hit the apex. I mean, these go through the apex because it's a continuous seam, but darts should not finish at the apex because then you get like a cone shape, okay? Remember the infamous Jean-Paul Gaultier cone bra for Madonna? Okay, you're gonna get like a cone. Normally you don't want that. You want the dart to stop a little bit away back from the apex and then let the fabric smooth and curve around the apex instead. So when you mark your darts, make sure that you pull back from the apex. When you draft your patterns, make sure you're like half inch pulled away from the apex with your darts. I have elbows marked with a straight line because they are hinge joints. And knees are marked with a circle in the front because they are kind of a circle in the front. You know, your kneecap's sitting here like that. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. When you are marking your skirts, this would be above the knee. This is knee. This is below the knee. Right here is about midi length. And then we have the back, and it has the same kind of sleeve options. And I have the shoulder princess and armhole princess here. And then I have the shoulder dart, back neck dart, and then I have the fisheye waist darts. Some people like to do a second dart. You could do a second dart in the front too. This is quite common. It just started getting a little bit busy. But you know how that's marked. These horizontals, this is bust, waist, high hip, low hip. And then the back of the knees, I have marked the line because that's that hinge, that line in the back where it bends. And then I want you to pay attention to the neck. The necks are not straight up and down cylinders. They do tip forward. If you look at a profile view of someone with a healthy posture, necks do tip forward. And so, you know, if you watch my wraparounds video, you'll see that, you know, the wraparounds go like this, like turtleneck collars will sit like this, okay? So if you're doing a t-shirt, you know, you'll have it dip down in the front, and then in the back, it'll dip just a little bit, okay? Not as much as the front. And then when you see the back from the front, it'll look like this. Right? Pick up your own t-shirt, you'll see a little bit of that back neck from the front, right? Now, if you're doing a shirt collar, you're gonna more likely see it sitting up on your shoulders like that. And then it'll come forward and down. There's your collar stand here, etc., etc. So that's your front and back. And then I also have left and right flat templates. Now, sides are only used when you have a really important design detail on one side. Okay? You don't have to use left and right. Okay? Just use what you need to show the design clearly. So if you have something where the design is on the torso, you can use this one that has no sleeve. Or if this is a sleeveless style. If you want to show the side view of a sleeve, because that's where the design is special, I have this one. And then if you want to show both, I have this one. okay? Everyone knows that this is not the way the garment is going to be constructed with, the sleeve hanging back like that. This is just to show all that stuff happening in there. Again, you see the neck tipping forward a little bit. This is your side seam. This double thick line is just kind of your plumb line, your weight line. And notice that your shoulder and your side seam and your side seam, the out seam of your pants, doesn't sit exactly straight. I marked the shoulder and armhole princess here, but you barely see it. But I marked it so you know where it is. You see it most here as it comes scooping over your shoulder blade and shoulder. So if you didn't mark your princess seam on your side flat, it would not even matter because you barely see it. If you have a side waist dart, like an extra one, like this one, then yeah, you would definitely see it. Here's your French dart, here's your bust dart, armhole princess, bust. And busts are just ever so slightly angled back. Okay. Waist, high hip, low hip. And then the circle for the whole kind of knee anatomy in the front, and then the hinge in the back. If you have the drawing skills, I encourage you to take these templates and manipulate them to suit your customer. Okay, make them bigger if you're accommodating a larger fit. If you are addressing special fit concerns like people with hunchbacks, people with sway backs, people with extra large busts, I encourage you to change the template, redraw it according to your fit needs. Because as you're designing, you have to design with your customer's body in mind. These templates are just kind of as straightforward and kind of run-of-the-mill average as possible. I have a couple of extras here. This one, I blew it up really big. So this is for swimsuit designers, lingerie designers, people who want to work on a special detail. Like if you're gonna have a special shoulder with a special collar, maybe you do a blow up shot and, you show how there's an embroidery coming off this shoulder, etc., etc. And then I have this one formatted. This one is the one I take around with me everywhere. It's my quick design flat template where it's kind of small and basic and I sketch right on top of it. And then later on, I'll blow it up and I'll do more details. I'll do more exact proportions, things like that. Okay, so this is the little one. I fold it and I slide it into my smaller sketchbooks and carry it around all over town. Those of you that made it this far in the video, I have a special surprise for you. I have a coupon code in my Etsy store. You can use it for any item in my Etsy store. I don't know when I'm filming this as opposed to when I'll be shooting this, but I'm on the screen. I'm going to post the coupon code for 20% off, and the last date that you can use the coupon code will also be on the screen. Ding, 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 ding. Go buy. You can buy as many things as you want. It's going to be 20% off your total order for however much stuff you want to buy. If you want to buy the one coloring page for 75 cents, whatever, okay? You want to buy my entire store, still 20% off everything. Whether or not you buy my template, please go learn how to draw flats. Flats are pivotal. It's gonna be one of those things that every single design company is looking for in your portfolio. Can this person draw good flats, all right? So, you know what I always say? # always be practicing, and I will see you in the next video.